All right, this is really what you need to do it. What I'm doing here is a gallery wrap style stretcher bar. So you'll see it's thicker. The way it works is the canvas wraps around the edge and then the staples go in the back. I personally like to start this process face down, especially with the gallery wrap stretcher bars. So I will put, I'll put my canvas face down, and I got to make sure, I don't know what kind of stretcher bar that you might be using. If you're using just straight select pine, it won't really matter which way you put it. If you're using a stretcher bar stock like I've got, remember that ridge that I've got right here needs to also be face down. First of all, you want to align it. Make sure you got enough overlap, left and right, top and bottom, enough for your tool to bite on there. So I've got a little more flopping over up there than I do down here, so I'm gonna kind of pull that a little closer till it's even. And I'll double check again over on the bottom side to make sure I haven't shifted it weird or anything. Anyway, that's lining up real good. Now, here's the important part. You want to start in the middles of all four rails of your stretcher bar. 1, 2, and then you'll come over here and we'll do 1, 2, stretch it that way. And then we'll do the opposite. We'll do 1, 2, and then 1, 2, stretching it on opposite sides. And then from there, you're going to work from the middle out, and then we'll rotate to this leg, middle out, middle out, middle out. Then we reverse the whole process. Middle out this way, middle out this way, middle out this way, middle out this way. So there we go. So there's your first bit. And then you'll see I'm turning it around to the opposite side. I'm still going to check and make sure my overlaps are good. That's pretty important. That's really important. So you definitely want these kind. All right. Again, you see how the bend goes up. That gives you the clearance when you're producing leverage. And they also have these other little teeth here where you can, produce leverage this way too. So either way, you're clearing the canvas, but they are useful either way. That's really boils down to personal preference. This is my personal preference. So I'll pull it good and straight, good and tight. Right in here, there should be no wrinkles or waves or anything like that. You don't want to be like torquing it down to where your stretcher bars are bowing in, but at the same time, you don't want it too loose either. Again, do it once or twice. You'll really see what it feels like, because you can always fix it later if you have to. But anyway, there is the opposite side of this one. So there's your second one. So now we're going to move to these shorter rails. So I'm going to start this side. Now, there's nothing really holding that side in, so you just kind of have to just put your staples in on this side. You don't necessarily have to put a lot of torsion on it. Just put a couple of staples in there. Switch to your opposite side. And we'll do the exact same thing, but on this side, we'll actually apply a little tension on that canvas. And you can see, I don't know if you can see it or not in this video, but you can see some torsion this way, and then this way. Some like little wrinkles that are happening through here. It's kind of like a diamond shape in there. That's a good start to a good stretch. So here we go. Now what you're looking for is you don't want this thing running in like this, because it's going to pull. Remember, there's nothing pulling from that opposite side. You just want to start with even tension all the way across. Kind of make it equal to what these first two in the middle are like. And work your way out. No set rule as far as spacing. 3 to 4 inches apart on your staples. The more staples you have, the sturdier your canvas will be. Less chance for wrinkles, but of course, the more staples you use, obviously, the more times you have to reload, and sometimes the more expensive it can get. So, but do what you feel comfortable with. I'm good with about 3 to 4 inches apart. Just trying to be even with what we started with here in the middle, all the way out to the edge. And Alright, so we've got all 4 sides done from middle to the left. Now we want to work middle to the right. Now I'm going to show you all a little trade secret here. I don't normally share this with too many people, but here we go. Now it's going to be an international sensation. what we want to do is we got to handle how this corner wraps. Now I know you've all seen, I'm sure you've all seen where you get a canvas and it's got this big old triangle bunch up in there. Well, I've kind of come up with a little way to get rid of that. This is optional. You can stretch it just like that. Just work middle out this way and stretch over and leave that sort of, triangular shaped fold in there. If you're okay with it, cool. If you're not okay with it, try your best to follow along here. I'll do my best to explain it. What I'm going to do is I'm pulling tension on the canvas this way, and I'm putting a staple in. All right? Then what I'm doing is I'm taking this razor blade, and I'm just kind of cutting from this corner, as deep as I can go into this corner. This is the front surface of the stretcher bar. I'm just kind of pulling it right out, straight out, like that, okay? So what that's done is that's split this canvas right here. Now I don't like this bunch up here, so I like to cut it out too. So I actually start back here and I work my way back to this corner, just like this, okay? And then I like to cut it out this way, so along this edge. So you see we've split it here, and I'm going to cut it along this edge as well. Bingo. Leaves you with a nice little triangular pattern. See that right in there? Anyway, this leftover piece here, I don't like it either. So what I do is, just to keep it looking nice, I let a little bit fold around, and I take a pair of good shears, and just work your way right down there, leaving a little bit. Now, how am I folding that? I'm making sure that I'm folding it even with the plane of this corner, so that you do have a little bit underlapping actually all the way up that ridge. Now that we've handled the corner, come back and work our way over the rest of our stretch. But this is the side now that you can provide some good tension and give you some opposing force there. Now as I approach this corner here, I like to get a good bite out at that edge and really pull it tight, because you can see that whole triangle is now just about disappeared. Bingo. Look at that. Look how nice and smooth that is. So, once again, we'll run through this 3 more times with you. Putting a staple in. Now I'm taking my blade. See? Now it's split. I'm also going to get rid of this junk. I don't like it. From out here to the top corner here. Actually, what's now the back corner. Remember, it's face down. And then along this ridge, I like to cut it. Bingo. Gets it all gone. Okay? Now, this remaining piece, flip it over. You can see it's even here. That's how you know you're cutting it right. You don't want it like this or like this. It won't fold and finish right. You can double check your work. Make sure your fold is along this corner here. See that? So now that you've got it lined up the way you want it, take your good shears. I mean, there's no real rule here. Just, you don't want it right at the edge, but you don't want it too far back either. So just, I don't know, I'm doing about 1/4 of an inch or so. And bingo, it'll fold real nice. So now, go back to the middle here, and we'll start working our way out. This is where you can get it good and tight. Putting in a staple. Cutting from that corner out. See that? Get rid of this junk. I'm going to cut from back here up to here. Careful not to bump these staples. Man, nothing will dull a blade faster than coming in contact with metal. And I mean, it's just instantaneous too. It doesn't take much to dull one of those blades. Oh wait, there's my tool right there. Providing some good tension. Same thing, cutting corner out, getting rid of this, cutting down to the corner, flapping it over, cutting that out altogether, taking the remainder here, lining up these edges, making sure it's even with that corner. Take your shears, about 1/4 of an inch in, and then that little piece underlaps. And then the last one, last leg, give it 3 to 4 inches apart. And that last little piece gives some good tension, and it'll really flatten that corner out nice and smooth. So here we go. Tight as a drum, looking beautiful.